It's more about
Playing.
playing and really, really making a game of it, and sort of going a little bit back to what the flirtation was then. It's, how did you flirt and how far did it go, and sort of.
Yeah, because in today's society, so many people have gone to internet dating, and the art of flirtation has really gone by the wayside. I mean, personally, I don't like to go hang out in bars. I mean, I'll go to a sports bar to watch the sports. I mean, gee, imagine that. But here, there's no TVs, there's no radios. Technically, the cell phone didn't exist, obviously, but we carry those for safety purposes. But the art of flirting really has gone out of our lives, I think, in society in general, because so many people don't have time to get together and do social events. And the social events, I mean, what are social events these days? A bar. How much flirting can you honestly do in a bar with a rock band playing? You can't.
So you've mentioned, I mean, this notion of flirtation and the fact that y'all are sort of bringing back this art of flirtation. I mean, that speaks to the notion of rebirth, which is, of course, as you well know, what the word Renaissance means. In what other ways do you believe what other aspects of the Renaissance or past times are you specifically, or the Guild of Wenches in general, bringing back to the forefront?
Come here. Yes, she just said a good one. Chivalry. She just came up with one. She came up with chivalry. And chivalry is big here. The guys, the art of kissing a hand.
Which is not about flirtation. I mean, it can be, but it's not really about flirtation. It's a greeting.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very noble.
Yeah, very noble greeting. And the chivalry of a man buying a woman a rose and sending it via a rose seller. And
yesterday, Spike offering his hand to help me up from my seat, or giving me his arm on the hill where the ground is not level. Not necessarily needed, but it's that. It's not needed. I mean, I can handle a hill, I can get out of my chair, but it's
Or coming to the pub and having a gentleman offer a seat.
Yes.
And standing up on the side. That doesn't happen outside of here very much.
No.
But our gentlemen that are in here, and you go to a restaurant where they are, they will. They will offer their seat, they will offer you a hand. And I have two sons that come here a lot, and when they leave here, their manners don't leave with them. Well, they don't leave them. They bring them right along. My son will, on a bus, stand up so anybody else can have a seat. On the subway, my son will help somebody push the wheelchair onto the bus, but he learned that here.
she's raised children here. She would be a good one to talk to about children being raised at the fair.
Oh, I've already made a note.
Yeah.
We'll get there. let me ask you this though.
She has four. She has 2 boys and 2 girls.
How old?
Now they're 27, 25, 24, 21. They're 21.
So on this notion of chivalry, do you find that, I mean, you know, in some way have been speaking up to this point about the Rennie community. Mm-hmm. Do you find that the other patrons, the non-Rennie patrons, have a slightly higher degree of manners or chivalry when they're here?
Some do.
Some do.
Yesterday we did a little thing of seeing who could get the most little kisses on the cheeks. Girls had to
She
get them
won.
from guys. No, I didn't. Susan won.
Susan won. No,
Yes.
okay.
And guys had to get them from the women without speaking.
Just
and
pointing.
We had nobody tried to, out of 330 men that I received kisses from, nobody said, I want to kiss you on the lips. They just pecked me on the cheek, and I said thank you, and they were like, you're welcome. A couple gentlemen afterwards were like, well, I want to kiss your hand. I seen him do it. And because it was a gentleman in garb that kissed me on my hand, the gentleman out of garb decided to do the same. And it was And then I watched him throughout the day, and he was doing the same to his friends. Instead of just kissed her hand, that's it, I'm done.
Now you have the bad ones too.
You do have some of them.
You do have the bad ones. They come in here and they think this is a free-for-all, and they think the wenches are here for them to grab, and they think that it's okay just because we're dressed like this, that it's, well, they take wench in the form that wench was back in the day, okay, which we have completely renamed that. That's totally been changed. But,
Totally taking back the name.
yes, but as I said, we do have people to protect us when that occurs. And
But I think the other thing too about it is that because you know that you have that sort of safety net, it also gives you a little bit of extra confidence to be able to maybe deal with the situation yourself. Mm-hmm. It's that you know this isn't right, that just because I'm dressed like this doesn't mean that you can grab me or fondle me or have your way with me or whatever, and knowing that you have that safety net, that there's somebody else there that will
Back you
diffuse
up.
the situation,
Have your
it makes
back.
it very easy to say, no, get your hands off me,
just gonna
you're safe.
And it's almost like it sounds like my dad was an Italian boy growing up in Boston.
Okay.
We weren't part of the family, but we certainly knew the family, way back then. And he and my mom could walk down, the North End, and be completely fine. They knew if someone came in and tried to screw with them, someone was going to be there. So
Right.
it almost
Rennie's-
sounds like you're going right back to
Rennies are a big family. This is our village. This is just like it would have been on the Renaissance, where this is our village. We know everybody, even if we don't personally know their name, know where they came from, they're inside our village. And even if they were not dressed like we are, we would still try to protect them. Let a lost child alert go out here, and everybody that is dressed like us will jump up and start looking for that child. Let a man or a woman or somebody start beating on somebody, and we're going to step in. Let them be mistreated, and we're still going to step in because we're all family once we're inside these gates. And a lot of us take that outside the gates with us, and we still, our family, will see each other at different fairs or different functions, and
The community goes on.
the community goes on.
outside of these fair gates.
Let me ask you something about, y'all have, you keep coming back to this notion of protecting people and security and safety of the family. With all the patrons that come in, do you feel that you're also adopting them and applying those values to them while they're here?
Definitely.
Or does it more of just apply to the Rennie community?
Well,
It's anybody.
if people reach out and want to be a part of the community, we certainly welcome people in. Okay. As for people that just come here on a day pass, they're welcome in. We don't look at somebody because they're not dressed like us and treat them any differently. I'm friendly with the children. I'm friendly with the parents. I'll answer questions for people. I'm like a tour guide sometimes, but they're in my village. They're in our village. This is home for us, like we keep saying. And it just winds up, we welcome them to our village pretty much. And if they want to play nice and play along with us, that's great. If they don't, they have the family after them. The family wants them out. If they come in here and start trouble, they're in trouble.
But the thing is too, if you come in here and you show no interest in really interacting with us, but you're doing your own thing,
That's fine too.
that's cool, and we're not going to hold that against you or whatever. But also too, it's like one of the best examples is last year. The weather was horrible. It was so hot. It was so humid. We daily had.
They can't take care.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna go down.